So right now we're in very interesting times because with the Knicks winning this NBA championship, it has caused the media to scramble as their narratives do not fit exactly what turned out on the court, especially with the Knicks dominating in the playoffs the way that they did. Funny enough, there has been previous NBA champions who actually been downplayed, especially how they influenced the league going forward. A prime example is Isiah Thomas and the bad boy Pistons, as in the 80s, they were basically a few incidents away from three-peating in between Michael Jordan's era, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. Now, the blueprint that they did have as far as physicality was applied by Pat Riley when he joined the Knicks, but make no mistake about it, that bad boy Pistons team was also a jump shooting team with the backcourt of Isiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, which has been duplicated with the Splash Brothers with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. They do share a very similar play style, as the Pistons did have a stretch five in Bill Laimbeer shooting threes. But with the Pistons nearly three-peating during a big man's era, Isiah Thomas being considered a little man did have NBA front office personnel going forward look at the small guard in a different light, the same way Jalen Brunson this season winning the championship has done. But right here, we're going to check out a great conversation between Isiah Thomas, Tim Hardaway, and Lindsey Hunter, a few of the other small guards in the league. And Isiah Thomas brings up quite a few points about Jalen Brunson and his player archetype winning the championship, and what does that mean going forward? Because he sees a lot of parallels that happen with him being a little man leading his team to a championship. The NBA is a copycat league, and Isiah Thomas gives great insight on how GMs are interpreting the way this Knicks team was built, who led it, and the results of their success. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
So let me ask you this. So what you think about New York, Jalen Brunson, and what they accomplished by winning the NBA Finals?
So I say this, and Tim, Lindsey, you know, the three of us who have played in the NBA, this is what we know as small people. Once we get our game right, we're looking at everybody in the NBA saying, you can't guard me, you can't guard me, you can't guard me. And what Jalen Brunson just proved again is that when your game is tight and right, no matter what size you are, you become the best at what you do. Right. And there wasn't a player in the NBA this year that you could say, oh, he can guard Jalen Brunson.
Facts. That's a fact.
He lit the whole league up.
Yeah.
Especially the San Antonio Spurs, who was supposed to be the best perimeter defense in the league. They gave SGA a lot of issues, but yet Jalen Brunson, he did share some similar issues, but he still overcame it. That was the craziest part. He overcame the way they just game planned for him night in and night out. And it didn't matter who was on him. It could have been Castle, Harper, Vessel. And it's a hell of a thing because the Spurs were not only tight around the perimeter with all their guards defending, but those guards will also push you into the paint where there's a 7'6" center swatting shots left and right. Again, a lot of the national NBA media is scrambling right now to make sense of this because this is not the kind of information that was given to the audience throughout the regular season. They were trying to hop on a Wemby wave a little bit too quick and chasing clicks. Isiah Thomas right here is going to let you know that this is nothing new.
That's a fact.
He lit the whole league up.
Yeah.
Now, this is what all of us face as small people, right? We get the question when we beat the bigger guys. Now, you just watch me win.
Right.
Why I'm not the best? Why I'm not the best?
Right.
Why can't be the best?
Dude, you just watch me win.
Right.
Now you come to me in my locker room after I beat all your big guys. You ask the small guy, hey, what do you think about that big guy over there?
I cut his head off.
Didn't you see that?
Right.
But we don't get to, I'm older now. So, but when I was playing and you get the mic, you can't really be that brass with it, right?
Right.
But I'm sure in Jalen Brunson's mind, he's like, they talking about the face of the league. Dude, didn't you just see me whop the face of the league?
Yeah.
That y'all.
But my thing is, Zeke, why are they trying to force it on Wemby, where Jalen Brunson, as a 6'2" guard, just delivered the first championship in New York since 1973? Why can't he be the face of the league?
Well, first off, it's not according to their business model. The media does not know how to sell a lot of players. They don't know how to market them. And even an international player like Wemby, they fully don't know how to market him. Same thing for Luka. That's why they're hoping for the best with Anthony Edwards, for him to elevate so they can market that quote-unquote American swag.
Why are they trying to push it on Wemby? And I know Wemby is cold, and he's proven a lot of things, but Jalen Brunson just got it done as a smaller guard.
So, see, that was the question we was asking in Detroit when we beat Bird, Magic, and Jordan, but they made Jordan the face of the league. And here in Detroit, they were saying, why can't all guys be the face of the league? Why is this one elevated when you see him 3-4 years in a row beating your face of the league?
Right.
Well, to me,
And so when you ask that question, right, it's a much deeper question in terms of who they want to be the face of the league, not who's the best.
And that right there is what we're seeing ever since the Knicks won the championship. It's the team that they want to market versus the team that's actually having the bigger impact. Also, when it comes to the individual levels, the same thing. At the end of the day, when you look back at the Knicks Spurs NBA Finals, you're truly watching a master class of Jalen Brunson walking that Spurs defense, including Wemby, down into the paint as a little man.
Right?
Yeah.
So who do they want to be the face of the league? So they say this guy is. But the small guys, we always have to take a step back, because what we realize as small people is that it's a 6'6" and above category.
right.
You know, for whatever reason, our game, our wins are not counted the same as the big people's are. There are more people who play basketball like we do
Yes. Then it is
Correct.
the big guys.
than they play like Jordan, Magic, or Bird,
Right.
Right.
right? There are more guys in the world who imitate our game because they can't imitate their game.
They're not that tall.
They're not that tall.
Right.
Right.
They're not that tall.
Right.
So this is the question, and this is what always messed me up, because Magic has never had the thought in his mind. It never has occurred to him, what if I was 6'1"? They don't think like that. Now us as little guys,
Yeah, we like, what if we 6'9"? What if we was 6'9"? And what we had right? Come on, man.
And that's a good question. What if Brunson had the same skill set and was Wemby's height? You can only imagine what damage he would be doing. Once again, it shows you how great and fundamentally sound Brunson had to be to overcome the Spurs. And that right there is what's fucking getting overlooked. A lot of this 1A talk. The first take debate culture has killed a lot of the real conversations around the nuances of the game.
Whoa.
right? And so and so they come to the game with a totally different mentality. And I always came to the floor looking at them like, dude, you ain't got a chance because you don't have what I got.
Right.
The only thing you got that I don't have,
It's height.
you were a genetic freak, right? Y'all walk around here every day in your life, right? How many times do you really see a 6'9", 6'10",
Not much.
7-foot guy walking down the street? They genetic freaks, right?
Right.
And because of their genetic gifts, size, weight, they have an advantage. But we have zero advantage. But yet when we beat them, it's discounted.
Yeah.
when it should be weighted heavily.
Isiah Thomas, one of the more smarter basketball minds to ever grace the NBA, is bringing up a lot of great points right here. In this whole positionless basketball era that we're in right now, so far, a lot of these combo guards are not necessarily leading their teams into victories, especially the deeper they go into the playoffs. A lot of them are hitting a wall. Donovan Mitchell, Cade Cunningham, even though it's kind of early for him, Paolo Banchero. And the number one culprit, I should say, is Anthony Edwards. He's definitely hit a wall once he reaches up to that Western Conference Finals, or he goes up against teams like Luka and SGA. He's gotten either swept or gentleman swept. So the APB is still out on a lot of players that are trying to play this kind of combo guard. Yeah, I'm going to set the tone. I'm going to control the pace. We're still trying to figure out if these guys could lead their teams past a certain level. Brunson and SGA so far are really the only players to do it. But right here, Isiah Thomas lets it be known that the NBA is a copycat league. And once he started winning championships in a big man's era in the late 80s, a lot of the other NBA front offices started looking at smaller point guards in a different light.
Evolution, right? When you say the game or the position has evolved, I would say that it has sized up again. So when I came into the league, remember we talking about Magic 6'9", Paul Pressey, 6'7", Michael Ray Richardson 6'6", 6'7", Reggie Theus 6'7", 6'6". So everyone had went to bigger guards because of the success that Magic had. When I came in, I was controversial as a second pick because a small guy wasn't supposed to be able to play and win in the NBA.
IT right there is not lying. I believe at the time a mistake on Magic Johnson's part is letting Isiah Thomas be with him when he was there in the finals, either winning or losing, and working out with him over the summer, seeing his preparation. Because once Isiah Thomas started coming up and being a complete rival, they were no longer working out together in the offseason. Once again, Isiah Thomas was there when Magic Johnson lost in the finals and was crying for a whole night. Same thing when he won. Isiah Thomas was in those back rooms. He saw everything. And at the time, the NBA didn't have examples of a little man leading his team into a championship. Even after Isiah Thomas ended up retiring and the bad boy Pistons fell off, big men continued to win championships afterwards.
So when we won in the NBA, that's when the position really changed, and they allow small guys to come in and score. So I was the first point guard to lead his team back-to-back championships, scoring and assisting.
It really should have been back to back to back. For those of you that know the story, you know the story.
Keyword, assisting.
Yeah.
Scoring.
I watched all that.
That ain't never been done. Still hasn't been done today.
Right.
Right.
Won't
In
be
terms
done.
of back-to-back.
It
Now,
won't be done now.
Now, that's when the league starts saying, okay, well, smaller guys can score. You go back and you look in the NBA Finals, the last game that Vinnie Johnson makes the shot, Joe, Vinnie, and I are on the floor together.
Three
Right.
guards.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about the evolution of the game, and this is what I always say about Detroit, we did more to change the game,
Yep.
but we get no credit for it. And y'all get credit to everyone else. But the facts are staring you right there in the face, right? You talk about a stretch big, Bill Laimbeer,
Center.
shoot. I think he still have an NBA Finals record, six or seven threes.
Bill Laimbeer?
Yeah, you ain't
Yes.
know.
I didn't know
You
he had
got
a
that
finals
computer in
record.
front of you, man. Come on, man. Do your homework.
Yeah, IT going in. But Bill Laimbeer is almost like a Draymond Green archetype, except he could shoot much better. And this Knicks championship team, just like the Detroit Pistons, will not receive the credit on how they were built. The team's starting point is not from multiple lottery picks from just tanking on purpose. Leon Rose was able to assemble things together even after making a few mistakes. Yabusele, Evan Fournier. You got to pivot right here. Let's get rid of quickly. You know, he's a fan favorite, but let's make that sacrifice and get OG Anunoby. Okay, we made the move for Cam Reddish. It's not working out. Let's pivot right here. Josh Hart. This, in a way, is the first time us Knicks fans are seeing this organization had an identity for what kind of team they wanted. Then they found the players that fit it instead of going out and just grabbing names like they used to in the past, and then we'll figure it out later. And when you look at today's league, where it's difficult to build a championship team with second apron rules, you can't have too many star players on the team at the same time eating up so much salary. You got second apron rules. You got different luxury tax rules. Leon Rose deserves a lot of fucking credit. They should be praising him the same way they praise the analytical / Salone conference assholes like Daryl Morey.
Do your homework.
No, but he was shooting threes.
And he was shooting at a high clip.
High clip.
That's
What
crazy.
percentage?
Dude,
High 40s?
probably 40s. Bill Lambert had a clip.
Not all big shooting threes, E.
Yeah, everybody doing
And
that.
not everybody doing it.
Everyone has copied the Detroit Pistons model style of play.
Yep, and we're going to have to include Pat Riley taking that blueprint, the physicality, into the 90s Knicks.
Yeah, we all get to the point as players, right, where we want to win.
Yes.
Yes.
And we look at our teammates and we say, can't win with this one.
right. Exactly.
Either I got to go
Oh, yeah.
or he got to go. But I can't win with this one,
How
right?
fast do you realize that?
Quickly.
And I'm gonna tell you something too, Zeke. Watching you and watching the Bad Boys, watching how y'all evolve,
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot about even the last guy on the bench. Because when we started becoming good, sometimes people think that last guy on the bench don't matter.
Ooh, he the most important one.
Yes.
And we started bringing some guys with questionable,
Characters. And that rubs off.
You got to go.
yeah.
You're not playing, but you're not.
You understand that though.
Yeah.
But a lot of GMs don't understand that.
Well, because a lot of GMs, they never had their ankles taped.
Yeah.
They never died for a loose ball.
Yeah.
And don't understand that you win the game on the bus ride
Yeah.
and the plane ride.
Playing right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see with this Knicks team, there was a certain culture, a certain camaraderie that they all had. Everyone was on the same vision. From the top guy on the team, Brunson, all the way to the 15th man on the bench. Everybody was locked in. It's a very unfortunate thing nowadays with these new tech oligarchs coming in, owning these teams. They're used to dealing with numbers people, just guys that are constantly looking at things on a spreadsheet. There's a high IQ, but a low EQ, aka Daryl Morey. And that's why you see his teams not necessarily fit chemistry wise. But when you look back at this Knicks championship team, you can see there's a camaraderie. They're more locked in. There's a culture in place. Not every player, just because he has good statistical numbers, is going to fit within that culture. That right there has been one of the very noticeable things about Leon Rose and his reign with the Knicks.
That's where it all happens at.
Yep.
And so they don't understand that. So consequently, they can't think that way. And when they bring a guy into a locker room, they have no idea who this guy is, what he stands for, what he does, so forth and so on. And quickly, when that guy walks into a locker room, everybody's like, whoa,
Yep.
this. And see, in our era, we grew up, unlike y'all, the bad guy couldn't be on the team.
Right.
You would see a guy out in the park playing, and you'd be like, man, why he ain't playing? Why
Right.
Bad character.
bad? You got bad attitude.
Now you got the coach.
You can't get along with
You got
nobody.
the coach enabling the player nowadays.
Yes. So they take that guy now and they bring him to the locker room. They say, well, he can average 18 points and get us 10 rebounds. And everybody in the locker room is saying,
This guy not passing.
my man.
Luka.
Notice right there, someone screamed out Luka. Again, that's the beautiful thing about Brunson. He can adapt to a lot of different play styles. The fact that he could be off ball, catch and shoot, it's really nowadays the kind of stars that you get, especially if you want to win on a championship level. If you just want to be a middle tier conference team and just get to the second round and then you're out, that's fine. But we're talking about championship level. There's a certain way to build a team that a lot of today's analytical / let's tank the team for a number of years in order to get good draft picks. That culture kind of goes against all that. That thought process doesn't automatically change. And we can see the results. A lot of those analytical tanking teams, once they start to get kind of good, they quickly bail out. They don't know how to pivot and select certain players, maintain a certain culture. It's just a lot that we've seen from Leon Rose and the tone that he has set with this Knicks organization. It should be ranked in a very similar level to guys like Bob Myers out in Golden State, or even the way the San Antonio Spurs set their culture. Who knows, as more time goes on, if Leon Rose is able to maintain it, this is where we're going to have to begin to move his name towards. It is what it is. As we've seen historically, not all innovative NBA championship teams get the credit that they deserve.